One night, I left my friend's place late, probably around 2 or 3 in the morning. It was pouring rain, the kind that blurs everything beyond the windshield. The drive back home, typically a smooth 20 minutes, felt longer with the rain and darkness swallowing everything in sight. About 5 minutes into the drive, I hit a red light. On the other side of the intersection sat a blue car, its headlights cutting through the rain, halted at a green light. Seemed odd, like the driver was lost or asleep. When the lights changed, I cautiously went around them, but the rain made it tough to see inside their car. Shortly after passing, the blue car started tailing me. Their headlights seemed too close, almost like they were right on my bumper. A warning light blinked on my dashboard, indicating a low tire. Strange timing, considering the circumstances. Glancing back, their car was still uncomfortably near, the sound of their engine growing louder. As I approached my neighborhood's entrance, another warning flashed: flat tire. Panic set in as my car dipped to the side. I had to pull over, and the car behind me did too. I should have called for help, but my focus was on the 3 figures emerging from that car. 2 on my side, 1 on the other, their footsteps muffled by the rain. They demanded something I couldn't decipher amidst the chaos. Then, amidst the downpour, strange sounds emerged. Footsteps splashing through puddles mixed with creaking whispers that sent shivers down my spine. My heart raced louder than the rain outside. Suddenly, a knocking sound reverberated through the night, followed by an eerie growl that chilled me to the bone. It felt like someone or something was lurking nearby. In the midst of this confusion, a static-filled laugh pierced the air, freezing me in place. The laughter seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The men confronting me appeared distracted, their attention shifting, fear etched on their faces. Confusion gripped me as I turned, half expecting a terrifying sight, but there was only the rain and darkness. Taking advantage of the moment, I ran, heart pounding in my ears. The sounds of footsteps and eerie whispers followed, echoing through the night. When I reached safety, I glanced back, but there was nothing, just the relentless rain. Later, when I reported the incident to the cops, they found something strange, a peculiar device attached to my tire, causing the flat and low tire warnings. But those unsettling sounds, the whispers, and eerie laughter in the midst of the rain remained unexplained, haunting me for nights to come, making me wary of night drives in the rain. Late one rainy night, I was driving my delivery van back home. It was around 11 p.m., and the rain kept pouring down steadily. Usually, I finished work earlier, but sometimes there were late deliveries past 10 p.m. The roads were mostly long highways, not much to see. I spotted headlights up ahead and caught up to an old pickup truck going super slow. Seemed like they were afraid of slipping on the wet road, but they were going too slow. Pitter-patter, the rain drummed against the van's windows as I felt a sense of impatience. I wanted to go around them. I signaled, planning to pass, but just before I did, the truck lost control and skidded off the road with a crash. I hit the brakes, pulling over. I stayed in my van, peeking through the side window. The truck missed some trees but got stuck down a slope. Even though it wasn't my fault, I felt like I should try and help. I tried calling 911, but there was no signal. I got more nervous when I didn't see any movement by the truck. So, I decided to check on them, braving the cold rain. Footsteps squelching in the mud, I cautiously made my way toward the truck. The creaking of branches in the wind added an eerie atmosphere. The truck was stuck in bushes but looked okay. I knocked on the driver's side door, and when I opened it, there was a man inside trying hard to start the truck. I asked if he needed help. He looked at me for a bit and then said, "Give me a ride." I said I could take him to the nearest gas station, but that's as far as I could go. After thinking about it, he agreed. As we walked back to my van in the rain, whispers of the wind and the occasional whistling of the breeze filled the air. The man was slow and kept watching me a lot. Every time I looked back, he was staring at me, which felt weird. Once inside my van, I started driving. I didn't know how far the gas station was, maybe around 50 or 60 miles. I tried to talk, but the man hardly said a word, making it awkward. Heartbeats quickened, and the sound of dripping water echoed inside the van. Thankfully, I saw the lights of a small town ahead. But as we got closer, the man got more fidgety, looking around a lot inside and outside the car. When we reached the gas station, I parked and asked if he needed anything else. He didn't say anything, making things tense. I said I'd be leaving, trying to break the silence. Suddenly, knocking sounded like a drumbeat on the van's door, and he pushed me hard against it, breathing heavily, and started hitting me. I tried to get out, but then the passenger door opened, and he was pulled away amid screams and grunts. I stumbled out of the van, confused. There were police cars and officers holding the man down. Turns out, he was running from a serious crime in a stolen truck. The officers didn't know he was with me, but they saw him attacking and jumped in to help. It was a scary experience. The man seemed strange, but I never realized how much danger I was in. If the police hadn't been there, things could have gone really bad on that rainy night. I lived in a cozy townhouse with my little dog. Max. Life was good until one stormy night shook things up. It was a dark, rainy evening, drops drumming against the windows. I lounged in the living room, swiping through my phone. Max had this way of letting me know he needed out by whimpering and dashing toward me. So, I got up and let him into the fenced backyard. Max wasn't a big dog, more like a fluffy teddy bear. Soon after I let him out, I heard him yelping and barking nervously. I hurried to the door, worried, only to find him darting back in, tail tucked. I peeked outside, thinking I'd see something scary, but there was nothing there. I checked on Max, locked up, but he seemed off, on edge. For the next 30 minutes, he kept glancing at different windows and doors. Then, all of a sudden, he focused on the window behind me, growling softly. I turned, and there was a man, right against the glass, staring at us. I yelled, and the man bolted. I closed all the blinds, made sure everything was locked up tight. I didn't recognize the man, a stranger whose presence was creepy. The rain drowned any sounds, but Max calmed down, so I stayed alert, keeping him close all night. Later, in the dead of night, I woke up to Max by the bedroom door, staring intensely. Suddenly, I heard noises downstairs, clear and loud. My heart raced. Someone was inside the house, talking like they didn't care if they were heard. I had nowhere to go, so I huddled in a corner with Max, trying to stay calm. But the noises stopped suddenly. Panicked, I called the police quietly, barely containing my fear. Max growled and barked as the footsteps approached the stairs. They spoke, saying they meant no harm, just wanted to talk. I was scared, crying as I told them I had called the cops, pleading for them to leave. There was a silence, then a plea to open the door. I couldn't trust them, couldn't risk it. The distant sirens brought hope. I heard footsteps fleeing downstairs, but I still feared one might be nearby. As the police searched, they found wet footprints and an unlocked window, which I couldn't be sure I'd secured. Despite the search, they found nothing. No trace of those men. It haunted me, not knowing their intentions, feeling like someone might still be watching, even after I moved out months later. The uncertainty stayed with me, a chilling reminder that sometimes, even when you think you're safe, you might not be alone.